The Queen of Curses might be coming back. No, this isn't some wild theory from a forgotten corner of the internet. This is the official Gege Akutami written sequel to Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's poised to change everything we thought we knew. The series, Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, is set a staggering 68 years after the main story, following the grandchildren of none other than Yuta Okotsu and Maki Zenin. With Chapter 17 set to release on January 4th, 2026, the entire story is balanced on a knife's edge. We absolutely have to talk about the massive, earth-shattering cliffhanger from the last chapter, because all signs are pointing to a moment that will completely redefine the power system as we know it. The potential return of Rika, or at least what's left of her, is on the table, and it could create a brand new, paradigm-shifting special-grade sorcerer right before our very eyes. But before we dive headfirst into the wild theories this has unleashed, let's be crystal clear. Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo is the official sequel, written by Gege Akutami himself and illustrated by the talented Yuji Iwasaki. This isn't a fan project or a what-if scenario. It's a legitimate continuation, serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump, that you can read on Viz and Manga Plus right now. The story has taken the familiar world of JJK and introduced a completely unexpected and game-changing new element, an alien race called the Semurians, who possess their own form of cursed energy. Yes, you heard that right, aliens. The upcoming chapter has the entire fandom buzzing, and it's for a very, very good reason. Let's get straight to the heart of it. All the hype, all the speculation is building towards the possible cataclysmic return of Rika. At the end of the last chapter, Yuta's grandson, Tsurugi Okotsu, was left completely broken, crushed, and on the absolute brink of death. The leading theory tearing through the fandom is that in his final, desperate moments, the Queen of Curses will manifest through a treasured family heirloom and forge a new, terrifying contract. If this happens, we could be about to witness the birth of a fighter who combines the absolute peak of heavenly restriction with the near-infinite cursed energy of Rika. The stage is set for Akutami to shatter his own power scale, and if this comes to pass, it's going to be glorious. So, how did we get to this absolutely insane cliffhanger? Let's rewind to the recent chapters, which have focused entirely on the brutal, one-sided fight between Tsurugi Okotsu and the Semurian warrior, Maru. First, let's really set the stage. Tsurugi is the grandson of Yuta Okotsu and Maki Zenin, and just like his legendary grandmother, he was born with a heavenly restriction, granting him zero cursed energy in exchange for monstrous physical abilities that put him on par with legends like Toji Fushiguro and Maki herself. His opponent, Maru, belongs to an invading alien race and wields a cursed technique that seems to warp reality itself by controlling spatial orientation and gravity, a conceptual power that is frankly horrifying. Recent chapters have been dedicated to their all-out battle, but it's been far from an even match. Interspersed with the fighting, we also got a heavy flashback hinting at a much larger mystery. A young Tsurugi learned that his father, Iori Okotsu, vanished years ago after a cryptic conversation with a man with a scarred face, a figure heavily implied to be an older, seemingly immortal Yuji Itadori. This event has clearly fueled Tsurugi's obsession with his family's mysterious past and the fate of his sister, Yuka. Back in the present, the fight is a complete wash. Tsurugi, for all his Toji-level strength, is hopelessly outmatched. Maru's technique, called Chaos and Order, literally turns the world upside down, rendering Tsurugi's physical prowess utterly useless against an opponent who can bend the laws of physics to his will. The panels from Chapter 16 depict pure, unadulterated chaos. Buildings are twisted sideways, gravity shifts and inverts without warning, and Tsurugi is thrown around like a rag doll. He can't land a single meaningful blow. In a final, devastating sequence, Maru disarms him and unleashes an attack that leaves him crushed and broken under a mountain of debris. It's a clear, overwhelming, and brutal defeat. As Tsurugi lies there, bleeding and broken, his consciousness fading, his thoughts turn to his sister Yuka, who is simultaneously caught in her own life or death struggle elsewhere. He refuses to die while she is still in danger. It's this desperate, primal need to protect his family, to cling to life not for himself but for someone else, that has the entire fandom believing we are on the verge of a true, game-changing moment. This brings us to the single biggest theory for Chapter 17. Lying in the rubble, Tsurugi is at his absolute limit, physically and mentally shattered. This is the moment where fans believe the ring he wears, a cherished keepsake from his grandfather Yuta, will finally activate. The speculation is that from the shadows of the debris, a familiar, terrifying form will begin to emerge. Ra, the sentient husk of cursed energy that was once the queen of curses, Rika Orimoto. The popular theory suggests her first words will be dripping with a strange, almost petty irritation, directed at Tsurugi's striking resemblance to Maki, the woman who, in her view, stole her man. But then comes the bombshell that fans are predicting. She'll offer to help, not out of kindness, but based on a request from Yuta, a request from beyond the grave. The implications of that alone would be staggering, suggesting Yuta somehow foresaw this and can still influence the world of the living decades after his death. According to the theory, Ra will offer Tsurugi a binding vow, a contract for unimaginable power, if he simply accepts. With nothing left to lose and his sister's life on the line, it's all but certain that he will. If this scenario plays out, the result would be a literal explosion of cursed energy from a boy who was born with none. We would witness a horrifying, paradoxical fusion, Ra's monstrous power forcibly merging with a heavenly restricted body. This wouldn't be like Yuta wearing Rika as a suit of cursed energy armor. This would be the violent creation of something entirely new. The boy who was just crushed under cars would be replaced by a being crackling with immeasurable cursed energy, ready to completely and utterly annihilate the established power balance of the series. If this theory proves true in Chapter 17, what does it actually mean for the series going forward? This isn't just another power-up. It would be the birth of a being that, according to the fundamental rules of Jujutsu, simply should not exist. The entire concept of heavenly restriction is a binding vow made at birth. All of a person's cursed energy is sacrificed for a perfect physical body. Toji and Maki were the ultimate sorcerer killers, precisely because they existed outside the rules of cursed energy. What Modulo seems poised to do is fuse that perfect physical vessel with one of the most immense sources of cursed energy in the series' history. Just stop and think about that for a second. Tsurugi would have the raw, physical power and speed of Toji Fushiguro, combined with the volatile, near-infinite cursed energy of Rika. It's a walking, breathing paradox. He would possess a body that can dish out and withstand insane physical punishment, now supercharged by an endless cursed energy engine. Could he use that energy to reinforce his already perfect body? Could he use cursed techniques? The very possibility is terrifying. This fusion would undoubtedly create one of the most powerful characters we have ever seen, potentially rivaling legends like Sukuna and Gojo. And what about the entity Ra? We know Rika's soul passed on, so this being would be the sentient curse technique Yuta left behind, a shell of her power imbued with her personality and memories. Her acting on Yuta's request would open a bizarre new dimension to the JJK universe, hinting at the lingering will and influence of powerful sorcerers long after their deaths. Finally, we cannot ignore the scarred man who looks so much like Yuji Itadori. His brief but impactful appearance has already sparked countless questions. Why did he meet with Tsurugi's father all those years ago? What did he mean by his cryptic statement, "It doesn't matter"? His presence hangs over this new story like a ghost from the past, a major player whose role is still a complete and total mystery. Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo is speeding towards a moment that could change everything we know about its world. Chapter 16 left us on a massive cliffhanger, and all eyes are on the January 4th, 2026 release of Chapter 17 to see if the series will shatter one of its most fundamental rules. By potentially merging a heavenly restricted body with the Queen of Curses, Gege Akutami might be on the verge of creating a power combination that is a fan's wildest dream and a power scaler's worst nightmare. This is easily one of the most exciting developments to come out of the official JJK sequel, proving that this world still has plenty of shocking twists left in store. Now I have to turn it over to you. Do you think this theory is on the money? Is the combination of a heavenly restriction and Rika's power about to become a reality? What do you think Yuta's request from the afterlife could possibly be? And what is your biggest theory on the role of the mysterious scarred man? Let me know everything you're thinking down in the comments below. And if you're hyped for what's next in the JJK universe, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns. You won't want to miss whatever happens next.